So let's talk about anxiety. Your anxiety, my anxiety, our anxiety collectively. Now, anxiety is a funny thing. I've studied mindset, I've studied even brain science to a very, very small degree over the years, and I've struggled with a lot of anxiety over the past probably 2 decades, I would say, 20 years. And I have occasional bouts of it, and I've been to moments where I've had near panic attacks, and I do understand it. I understand the physiology of it, the heart rate, the elevated breathing, the sometimes sweaty palms, the unfocused mind, the overwhelm, the overthinking that it creates and generates, the pounding of the heart, the fearful state of just wanting to run away and hide. So our anxiety is interesting because when we feel it enough, and we feel it often, which some of us do, it becomes familiar. And even though it's uncomfortable, the brain loves familiarity. So anxiety is something that we create. Think about that. Anxiety is created from ourselves. It's not, you can't catch it like a cold or a flu virus. We can't be injected with it. It's something that our brain creates. Our brain is so powerful that it can create all of our emotions, right? All of our emotions start up here. We have a thought. Thought creates chemicals. Chemicals create feelings and emotions, which mean experiences we have in life. And with anxiety, I want you to consider this. Anxiety, let's break it down very simply. Anxiety could be described as fear of the future. Depression is said to be fear of the past. Now, if we're fearful of the future, we're anxious, and if we're fearful of the past, we're depressed. So what's in the middle, the sweet spot? The present moment, right now. So all activities, exercise is a great one, meditation could be a great tool. All activities that put you in the present moment are things that are going to be super powerful for helping your anxiety, helping your depression as well. But I'm not going to go into depression here. This is about anxiety. Now, anxiety is a strange one because we refer to it as my anxiety. We call it mine. We think of it as ours. When something's ours and we feel like we own it, it becomes part of us. It becomes ingrained subconsciously in our identity. And people say things like, I'm just an anxious person. It's my anxiety. And we'll hold on to that. We'll never want to let it go, because if we have anything that stands in the way of who we think we are, our self-identity, we are so incredibly resistant and hesitant to let go of said thing, because then we feel like we lose a sense of who we are. And we will protect who we are at all costs because it's who we know, it's familiarity, even if it's an uncomfortable emotion. So consider when you say my anxiety, it's not yours. You've created it, but you need to get rid of it in terms of saying mine and call it the anxiety. Big shift that. So it's not yours. Don't own it. Say it's just the anxiety playing up. Or you could say my brain is creating this anxious feeling. Now, what's interesting is you can change anxiety because you can change your perspective on it. You can understand it's a very normal human emotion. Everybody experiences it. Everybody goes through it. Everyone operates on a different way in terms of how they express it. Some people it's very internal, you don't realise it's happening. Some people it's physically, they're agitated, they're irritated, they need to escape, etc. And they talk very loud, and sometimes the worst of the worst is obviously a full-blown panic attack, where you can't breathe and you feel like you're dying. But that's the extreme level of it. But what we must consider is maybe anxiety is a good thing. Because I'm a firm believer, right, without going too spiritual, that everything happens for us, not to us. So the anxiety is often there because of some kind of uncertainty. Even though it's a familiar feeling, there's a thought, a pattern of, oh my God, what if this, what if that, what if I can't do it, what if it's too overwhelming, what if I'm not good enough, oh my God, what if everyone laughs at me, what if I fail again, oh my God, I can't do it, what if usually is the anxious mood, what if something, what when something, what could something, yeah? So we're anticipating. But did you know they've done brain analysis to say that around 90% of our negative and fearful thoughts don't actually come true. And we could probably agree with that. Like, we overthink to the high heavens, right? And we create this anxiety to project into the future something that hasn't happened yet, and we create this state, notice I'm using the words, we create this state which makes us feel fearful. Now, what if fear, because that's what anxiety is, what if fear was just excitement without the breath? What if fear was actually something that we could lean into and enjoy, but it's just when we feel anxious about it, we can't handle it, we can't breathe into it, so we avoid it. Anything that challenges our breathing and our beliefs, we will try to avoid or resist, right? So leaning into our fears is a hard thing to do, because automatically we're like, well, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to lean into something that's incredibly uncomfortable or unsure or frightening or upsetting? Well, we're probably aware that everything that we desire is on the other side of our fears. So how do we overcome it? Well, we've heard about stepping outside of the comfort zone. And that's true. But a lot of people struggle to take that step. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. Social influences, societal influences, cultural influences. Your childhood is a big factor as well. But I think one of the biggest things is this understanding. Hopefully you've watched this video so far and you've had a better perspective of anxiety over the years. But I think sometimes as well we must understand that often, and this might not sit well with a lot of you, often our ego is at play. So what that means is that we are far too concerned with how others perceive us, that we conform our actions to please other people. And you'll know this, if you're a people pleaser, you'll probably experience a lot of anxiety. What if they think this? What if they think that? What if? And let me tell you, your biggest fear, which could be your biggest anxiety, and you might not understand this, but most people's biggest fear, the biggest fear that you have is that you're not enough. It's your biggest fear. It's everybody's. Now, but what is enough? Again, everybody has a different perspective on this. What is enough? How can I know that I'm enough? Well, what's interesting is that when you put a focus in your life on growth, progress, and contribution in some form, whether it be on a minor scale or a major scale, if you are constantly expressing your will and you are acting towards progressing, towards growing yourself, and you are contributing to the lives of others in a positive way without draining yourself of energy or emotions, then I can guarantee that soon enough you'll feel enough. I hope this video has been somewhat valuable in breaking down the inner workings of anxiety to a level that's very basic, but that opens your mind a little bit. And it's helped me understand a lot. And I think because we all struggle with this emotion of anxiety, when we understand, we fear less. And that's what this whole video has been about. That's what my life has been about for the past 10 years, is trying to help people understand their emotions more, trying to help people how to break down their fears further, get a handle on their body, their physical health, their energy, their confidence up here. And one of those biggest things that's holding everybody back in this life is anxiety. And if we can understand it a little bit more, we can fear it less. And what we fear less, we take more action on. If we can take more action, we can flow more in life, we can progress, we can grow, and we can contribute. And with that, you will have a more magnificent and supercharged life. See you soon. How would your life look like with more motivation, energy, and self-control? My second book, Supercharged, is available now, the modern day guide to creating outstanding levels of energy, motivation, and self-control. Head to superchargedbook.com to get your copy right away.